Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and SoundCloud so you can keep up with what's going on in Greensboro city government. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and joining me in the studio, as always, at the controls, my good friend, Mr. Devin Smith.
Thank you.
How are you doing? I dialed it back a little bit this time.
I was going to say you went in the opposite direction. You didn't give enough compliments this
Right.
time.
I always enjoy the introduction because I kind of look over and see that frightened look on it, like, where's he going to go with this?
Yeah. Well, we are closing out what has been a fun month of podcasting. Talk City Greensboro has been celebrating Black History Month by engaging black leaders within the city of Greensboro. This week's guest is Justin Outling, District 3 representative of the Greensboro City Council. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing well.
Hey, thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
So we're going to fire off some quick questions at you.
All right, bring them on.
And see what we get. So the first things first, from your locally recognized Java with Justin, we have to know, what's your favorite coffee?
Yes.
Ironically enough, I actually do not drink coffee. So the secret is that I've probably drank about 5 cups of coffee my entire life. So while it is appropriately named Java with Justin because just about everyone else in the world drinks coffee, my drink of choice is Diet Coke. At least 2 or 3 of those every day, one always at the start. That's what you'll find me drinking at Java with Justin.
That's probably the best answer. Of all the possible answers you could have given, that one I didn't think.
If Diet Coke with Justin sound as good as Java with Justin, I would have named it that. But
you'd have to pay Coke for that.
Yeah, had to pay Coke. Yeah, until they start being an official sponsor of the city of Greensboro, we will not shout out Coke. At Java with Justin beyond me drinking it.
I love it. What's your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory, and this is when I was definitely on the younger side, my father worked at a large manufacturer of steel in Buffalo, New York. And unfortunately, that job went overseas and my father was suddenly unemployed. Mm-hmm. And so I saw my father at a young age make a very difficult decision to be a trash collector. And, while that was certainly an interesting experience for our family, mm-hmm. I remember my father coming home from kind of busting his hump. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's my favorite childhood memory because that taught me so much about life, throwing your curveballs, it not being fair. But you've got the power to make good decisions and provide a better life for your family. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, he did that. Lights stayed on, clothes, we found a way to get on the back, food got on the table. And perhaps more significantly, he taught my brother and I a good lesson about what it means to be a contributor to your family and to your community. Even when life throws you a curveball, it's not fair and it's not as a result of anything you've done. So I've take lessons from that, and it's a good memory that I try to instill in my kids. Hopefully I won't find myself suddenly unemployed like my father was, but it's a good lesson to remember from a childhood, and hopefully I'll pass it on to my kids as well.
Definitely. That's a great answer. So who did you admire the most learning about Black history?
Ooh, that's a really terrific question. I'll tell you, in more recent years, the person I've come to admire most is certainly an icon in our community and across our state, mm-hmm. And probably one of my former colleagues, Chief Justice Henry Fry. Chief Justice Henry Fry, one of the first black legislators, post-Reconstruction, obviously the first African-American Supreme Court justice, and just his path and journey and persistence to reach those heights in his career, especially at the time that he did them, it's just an extraordinary thing. Yeah. And it's really fortunate for us in this time in our community to be able to look at and still learn from someone that blazed a trail. Mm-hmm. Because I literally know I would not be a partner at my law firm. I would not be in the opportunity to serve our community without persons like Justice Fry blazing the trail. So, he's someone that I've looked up to for a long time and continue to do so, and just honored that all of us in our community get to learn from him and see all the great things he's done really for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your favorite part of being a council member?
Yeah, my favorite part is working to make our community better.
Right.
And so you probably get that response from just about every council member. But for me, that means actually working on policies that help make our community better on scale.
Right.
A lot of us in our community have an opportunity to help people in one-off situations. So
Yeah.
I have a problem with my water bill, things like that. But as a council person, you have a unique opportunity to change policy so that you're helping people, hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's looked like, working on housing issues to make sure that homes aren't in blighted condition for decades on end, making sure that commercial properties are safe and we don't have special exceptions for them that treat them more favorably in terms of regulation than people's personal residences.
Yeah.
Or making sure that local businesses have a fair shot at city contracts so that they can grow their businesses, grow our economy, and we can get more people in good, well-paying jobs. So for me, working on the policy, trying to affect structural change and make our community better, that's my favorite part of being a council member.
Yeah.
All right. So the funnest question of them all. What would you do with $1 million?
Oh, it's going straight in my pocket. No, no. In all seriousness, so my wife Cora and I, we have two small children, 6 and 8, Clark and Clara. So I think reflexively, the response is saving even more money for their college education. When we kind of look out, what is college going to cost for our children if they have the opportunity to go to college? It's hard to even calculate how much it will cost. So, that would be going into a savings account for them. And we would fortunately, use a portion of that money to hopefully do some good for some nonprofits that we believe in our community as well as our church, of course. So
Great.
That's where the $1 million would go.
I love it.
But a little bit is definitely going to the pocket in that savings account for those kids' college education. Because those college admission prices are kind of scary nowadays.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
can only imagine
Yes.
10 years from now.
Yeah, definitely. Justin Outling, District 3 representative for the council, the Greensboro City Council, is here in the podcast studio with us today. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank y'all. Thank y'all.
So you've been made Black Business Inc.'s 40 on the 40 list. You are a partner in your law firm. You're obviously a well-respected member of the community. You've been elected more than once here. So talk about what the level of work it took to kind of get to this success and what it kind of meant to you to look back at that journey.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of work. It's taken a lot of work. But definitely blessed in that I've been fortunate enough to have an opportunity to be successful. And so, for example, my father was throwing a real curveball and losing his job. But my father was there and he was able to teach me good lessons. So I'm very appreciative of, having a family there, having the opportunity to be successful. But I'm not going to lie to you. It's a lot of work to take advantage of those opportunities that I was fortunate enough to receive. So, a lot of work in law school. I can't tell you how many birthday parties I've missed and all of those good things. But it's been a lot of work, and I'm just fortunate enough to have had the opportunities and really been blessed with, having good relationships, whether it be in the community, whether it be within the law firm, such that people recognize my desire to do a good job and serve all of us, whether it be the community, whether it be my law firm clients, better and try to improve things from where they are.
Yeah. So, Justin, what would you tell any child, but especially a young Black person, to encourage them to chase their dreams?
You can do it. You can do it. Things are going to be hard. Things are going to be hard, and you're going to have to make a lot of tough choices. But you can actually do it. I think oftentimes, we'll look to whether it be leaders in our community, people we see on television, and think that they're somehow fundamentally different than us. But the reality is they're just all people. Some of them have been fortunate enough to have more opportunities than others, but to reach that level of success, or really any measure of success, they had to make some choices and capitalize on some opportunities that they've been given. Mm-hmm. The key with all of us is that we recognize an opportunity when it's in front of us, and we make the difficult decision to put us in the best position we can possibly be in to be successful. So I encourage all young people that I meet with that, notwithstanding whatever circumstance you're in, you're going to have choices to make that's going to be able to affect you for the better, your family for the better, and in all likelihood, your community for the better.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's I guess everybody doesn't have the same situation to come from, and some people they have it rougher than others.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
right.
But eventually, there's a point in time where you realize that I can control my destiny, and I can take the opportunities that I'm given to make something of myself.
That's right.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and in that regard, I mean, I oftentimes think of my father in that regard. I mean, he lost his job. It wasn't through fault of his own.
Yeah.
It's just the economy changed. But he, at the end of the day, he made a choice to bust his hump in the days where trash collection wasn't automated like it is now. So he was the guy hopping on and off endlessly every day, and feet getting swollen, and losing tons of weight because all of the sweat that was pouring off him. He made a fundamental choice, and at the end of the day, although it was a tough one in a tough circumstance, I know I would not be a law partner, be serving our city, but for the fact that he made that difficult choice. And so that's, to me, a really big lesson that I've taken with me, and I try to share with others, because I think when you look at it in that lens, what seemingly a small choice can have huge consequences, not only for you, but for others in ways that you never can really tell at the time. But the key thing is we all have choices, and we can make a good life of ourselves when we make good choices.
Yep.
Well, I
That's great.
definitely
Yeah.
thank you for coming and
Oh, my
sharing so
pleasure.
much knowledge and so much about yourself. It was really fun to have you down here.
Well, thank you all for having me. Enjoyed it a bit.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's all we have for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information from the city of Greensboro. GTN is available on Spectrum, Channel 13,
AT&T U-verse Channel 99.
North State, Channel 31.
GTN also streams live on the city's website at greensboro-nc.gov. And we are now also on Roku.
Check it out.